What's up, guys? Mr. E here. Do you want to be able to do this? Well, then I've got the build for you. You might be wondering, what the hell was that and how do I make that build? Well, that's what we're here today to explore, guys. This is the most unga bunga of Hive Scum builds. I think this might just be the easiest Hive Scum build right now. It is just face roll everything up to Auric difficulty, no problem. You're just going to mash your way through it because these daggers are so strong. This class's melee prowess is so strong. And as you can see there, the damage output is disgusting. It is staggering. That is not even considering if I'd had any other enemies around me to kill and then just splash that damage onto him, it could have gone even farther beyond. But if you want to see how this build is set up, well, let's go. Reminder, you want to see more cool builds like this, subscribe, get me to Warhammer 40k subs. I really appreciate you guys helping me continue to support Darktide and maybe other Warhammer content in the future, who knows. Let's check out the weapons here. This Shiv's the Mark 1, as far as I'm concerned. This is the only Shiv mark that exists. Let's first of all take a moment to admire how beautiful these things are. They look like sexy, deadly Christmas ornaments. I love the new like gold and crimson they've gone with for these mastery skins. Much better than the old just like red, flat red and white that they had on some of the older weapons. Those were yucky. Is there any on this one? Yeah, like this looks like garbage, right? This, beautiful, beautiful. Very, very deadly looking. So what we want to do is Unyielding and Carapace on here. These are the two enemies that will not die in one attack. You saw the amount of damage I was able to pump out there. You get it. Everything else is going to get instantly blown up. For blessings down here, we got to go Riposte and Flesh Terror. Riposte is an absolutely insane blessing. Crits are so synergistic. They are so valuable to this weapon. Look at what the damage ratio is between a regular hit and a crit hit. It's 3 times, right, on pretty much every enemy. So we do want to be getting crits, and we definitely want to be going for headshots at the same time, because that is 4 times. Actually, that's even more on bosses. That's 5x, right? Or even 6x. I can't count. Maybe you guys at home have learned to count. I have not yet. But yeah, that's the power of crit here. We also want to grab this bleed stacks and crit hit. There are other really good blessings that this dagger can hold. Well, there are other good blessings that exist on this dagger, but this one has them nerfed. So things like Uncanny Strike and Finesse, those blessings are actually nerfed on these dual shivs. I think that's something that maybe they're experimenting with. So Flesh Terror is the best other blessing, and you know what? This one goes pretty hard too. Bleeds stack up and they add a lot of value, especially when cleaving through hordes. They can enable you to get damage past bulwark shields and all sorts of stuff like that. You might hit an enemy and just almost kill them, and this will tickle in and finish them off. So 8 stacks of bleed means you crit them twice, and they're max bleed stacks for a solid chunk of extra damage every tick. So from there, we are going on to our range weapon. You can use whatever you want, really, but I think the best all-rounder on the class is Needle Pistol Mark II, Unyielding Carapace, Desperado Strip Down. Again, I could have pushed this boss fight even farther by immediately shooting him with the Needle Pistol like 6 times, and then going in on melee. This is just a great way to get free damage done on tons of targets. You know, you got a crusher or 2 that's coming at you. You're just like, I don't want to fucking deal with you right now. Shoot him with the needle pistol 4 times. Done. It's done. Like, the fight's done. The reason we've got Desperado on here is because crits do matter for this weapon. A crit applies a higher damaging dot, a higher damaging toxin when you actually hit the enemy. And then Strip Down allows us to use this weapon to sprint into combat. Like, all this time right now, as I'm sprinting, I am not taking any damage from ranged attacks. So I can just do this, and I can infinitely sustain that. I can sprint into ranged fire as much as I want. And you see the speed that I'm moving at, because this weapon has plus 0.9 movement speed, thanks to maxing mobility and going minimal stability. For curios down here, what I've done is I've gone 2 toughnesses and then 1 max stamina with 3 stamina regens, 3 combat ability regens, and 3 extra toughnesses. I think this is just a nice little mix there. Stamina is actually very important on this class because, yeah, having extra stamina gives us extra attack speed. So this is actually 6% extra attack speed right here, in addition to it giving us a nice amount of extra juice to do things like sprinting and sliding and pushing, which do take a good amount. So just be aware of that. Over here on the Stim Lab, we want to go like this. We want to take this wildfire path here and get this extra finesse. Since our crit rate is near 80% when we are actually dodging stuff and fighting, we are going to need no extra crit. What we need to do is we need to capitalize on those crits, and 35% finesse means our headshots and our crits are blasting these enemies, which is what you saw there. Here is your talent tree. So we're going to start off Tertium Welcome, Precision Violence, Float Like a Butterfly, Untouchable. Float Like a Butterfly is amazing here. This stacks with our another perk on our blessing, or sorry, a blessing on our weapon, which is 20% crit chance for 6 seconds. This is the same thing, but half the duration. So we get 40% crit chance whenever we dodge an enemy, which is amazing. Chem Grenade, just the best all-rounder grenade. Why aren't we using the Blackout Grenade? Well, that's because the Blackout Grenade does not get additional stacks if you kill an enemy through hypercritical or if you kill them with a dot. So there's a good chance that we would get those charges stolen from us by our various dot kills or by our hypercritical kills. So we're going to go this way: Gang Tough, Slippery Customer, Cheap Shots, Anarchist, and then Rampage with these two nodes right here. This is what enables us to just go ham on the boss and don't have to worry about our timer. So down here we've got Swift Endurance, Sweet Spot, nice juicy point there. Weak spot damage is amazing here. Hypercritical, which calls lesser enemies. Then over here, Tis But a Scratch, Punching Above One's Weight, and then Hyper Violence, which this really enables us to just carry over the damage from one kill to another. We can't insta-kill enemies like Ogrins, but what we can do is we can utilize our ults and just a bunch of extra damage. If I can get a crit, please, there we go. I can just carry that damage over and then just snowball it into killing all of them super fast, because for 1 second, I have the damage that I killed that last one with. And so, yeah, we kill one, and then that immediately signs the death warrant on the other two guys, because I have so much additive damage, and that gets multiplied by the crit. Over here, we go Toxin Strength, Coded Weaponry, Toxin Mania, Toxic Renewal. We are going to be critting so often. As you saw there, we crit those enemies, each one of them easily. That means I had extra base damage for everyone that was already critted and therefore had Chem Toxin on them. When I killed them, I got 15% of my toughness back, which is amazing for regenerating in Hordes. And then we've got extra blitzes, which just means 4 chems instead of 3. So these are insane, so you love that. Sample Collector, so we're going to get our stim back faster, because this stim is so powerful. This is going to boost your damage like crazy, because it is 20% strength and finesse multiplier, which applies to both crits and headshots independently. We love that. And then Chemical Dependency here, finally, for a 30% ability cooldown reduction and 15% crit chance. That extra crit chance goes a long way, plus having a shorter ability cooldown is just phenomenal on this class. So there you go, guys. I hope you thought this build looks impressive. Trust me, it is. Here's some more gameplay footage of me tearing it up out there with it. Enjoy. If I could get a crit, that'd be nice. No. Okay. You can push him off there. Yeah! Another one. Do it again. Oh. Ooh, shit. Ah. Ah. I should have slid. If I slid right there, I would have been okay.